Today we are sponsored by Autumn. Are you sick of the summer and the pretentious leaves that hang high and green? With Autumn, you can watch those leaves starve and collapse on the ground. You're not so big now, are you, leaves? You're not so big now. You can't control me, Dad. I'm sorry I can't be perfect. Get on board with Autumn today. Today we are also sponsored by the Walk to a Charity 5K. Walk on that thing. Now on to our show. Alright, there's a postcard from Waldo here to introduce the scene. The address on the postcard says it's from Ashby Farms, 1 B Farm Lane, Beesville. It reads, Dear Waldo Watchers, I'm being chased by 12,000 bees. Help, help, the bees are going to get me. Call someone, the bee police or something. I know that's not what they're called, but I don't know what to call them. Not like bee cops, but like firefighters for bees. But I know it's not bee fighters. Waldo. P.S. And it goes on like that for half a page. Alright, it's outdoor scene. There's many hills flooding with yellow and black here. That's the 12,000 bees, I guess, that are after Waldo. Not all the bees are even chasing him or facing the same direction. Some bees are in this line and don't know what it's for, but also don't want to risk losing out before the line gets longer. The bees, the ones closest to Waldo, know what's going on. They are chasing Waldo because he threw rocks at a beehive. Waldo sprints and sprints. Part of him hopes to trip in a hole in the grass. He would die, yes, but it wouldn't be because he wasn't fast enough, or wasn't trying hard enough, or wasn't being enough. It would be the hole's fault. He thought about his bucket list, which contained things like skydiving, learning the oboe, having a fun friend, one that would always say, Waldo be wildin', taking up Spanish, learning personally that money and fame do not make you happy, and finally, finding out what updog is and why it smells like that. These ideas angrily buzzed around Waldo's head, much like bees angrily buzzing around Waldo's head. So many regrets. He regretted not hugging his loved ones more, so he could build an accurate mental model of all their circumferences in his head, then line them up in circumference order in his mind. Perhaps Waldo's biggest regret was, throwing rocks at a beehive 10 minutes ago. It all ends here, he thinks. He wishes he said to his loved ones things like, remind me not to throw rocks at bees, or don't ever let me get stung by bees, or let's all start wearing protective beekeeper gear together. His life flashed before his eyes. Scenes from his life like the times he thought he could wear a thin jacket but then went outside and was like, oh, it's a little too cold. But he didn't want to go back inside, so he thought, oh, it's fine, I'll get used to it. And he kind of did get used to it, but not like all the way there. The time he tried coleslaw for the first time and thought it was just okay. The time he returned a blender to Macy's and he didn't have a receipt, so they gave him store credit, and he thought I should get a new duvet, and then he didn't, but he thinks that thought at least once a week for several years. Waldo tries to scream, but every time he opens his mouth, a bee goes in it. He spies a pond and dashes towards it, hoping for relief under the water. On his way there, he imagines what his last words might be. He always imagined he'd say something cool like, "I've loved every sunset, and now today is my own." And not what his likely last words would be. "Ow, stop, bees, stop." Waldo gets closer and closer to the pond. He launches himself into a red and white striped cannonball, ready to splash in, only to realize, wait, no, this isn't a pond. This is bees. The pond was made of bees, and these bees are now chasing him. Sometimes there is no ending. Sometimes there is only the chase. And there, I found Waldo in the chase, the journey, but also in the upper right-hand corner, being chased by 12,000 bees.